Hey guys, Grumpy here with episode 2 of Rum Runners. So, in the previous episode, I asked you guys for suggestions on mods that would help add to the Let's Play, like the modded experience. And you guys came through with some really awesome suggestions. So, some things that were suggested were Talahan Shipworks, Hazard Mining Incorporated, Asteroid Pack mod, and then Starship Legends and Crew Commission mod. These are all really great suggestions, but I felt like the ships were a little too, they weren't really balanced that well. Especially Talahan. There are some really crazy ships in there that I'm very interested in trying, but later on, not so much in this Let's Play. But with that said, there was one mod suggestion that I really liked, and that was Underworld. Underworld adds a lot of ships to the pirates. Um, these ships are also available, of course, to all the factions, but mostly pirates use these kinds of ships, and the ships themselves didn't seem too imbalanced. Also, there was some mention of changing like campaign events for pirates, which I'm very interested in figuring out what they meant by that. I tried to look it up and I didn't see anything on that. Like I tried to look for Underworld like YouTube Let's Plays, and I tried reading like the mod descriptions, and I didn't see anything. So I don't know what that's referring to, but I'd be interested in finding out. Anyway, I say that to say that I incorporated Underworld, but unfortunately I had to restart the series. So we didn't get too far, thankfully, before I added that. But we are gonna have to start from scratch. So I went ahead and I did all the option settings. Everything's pretty much the same, so no change there. And I did make one change. I think I took helmsmanship last time. Instead, this time I'm gonna change. I'm gonna pick ballistic mastery, and the reason being is because these new pirate ships. I also picked the new fleet, the new ships offered by the pack. These pirate ships are like all ballistic. They're low tech. Um, Good, like really good armor in most cases. Like even the afflictor here, which is a very frail ship, or the scythe rather, which is normally a very frail ship. Even that has 300 armor by default, which is pretty good. These ships are just low tech ballistic damage. That's all they rely on. Very few energy slots. So ballistic mastery just makes more sense over helmsmanship in this case. Um, Going over these ships, here we have the Barbarian. It's a cruiser. Um, it is a ballistic converted Aurora, is what it says, but I wouldn't consider it that. Whereas the Aurora has a lot of forward-facing ordnance, the Barbarian is more so, in my mind at least, is more so for broadside attacks. It has a lot of space for small ballistic weapons on its right side, and it only has one missile slot compared to the Aurora's two. So it's just different in that capability. You can kind of think of this as like a mini conquest, like how the conquest is a U. You can think of it as one half of the conquest, and then like just shrunk down a class. So instead of having a large, it has a medium. Instead of having medium slots, it has smalls. But that's how I like to think of this ship. I'm not gonna be piloting it though, because I don't understand how to fire broadside. Instead, I'm gonna be piloting this ship, which is the battle barge. It is the, does it say? There's a name for this ship. It is a shark class destroyer. So this ship is kind of akin to a hammerhead in sorts, except that the large ballistics are on the back instead of the front. So it's a little awkward to maneuver. It's hard to bring the weapons to bear. These two turrets, they kind of face off to the side, so it's really good at drive-bys, not so good at shooting whatever's in front of it. It does have two railguns to start, which is really powerful, and then it has some universal slots, so you can kind of make the most of those. Like maybe put A and B's on here if you wanted to. But most of the firepower is in the back of the ship, which is a little awkward. And then finally we have the scythe. The scythe is a ballistic enforcer or afflictor. Very interesting design here. Has a medium ballistic slot, and then two, what are these called? Composite, I think is the term. Yeah, composite. Which means you can fit either missiles or ballistic weapons in these slots, and then it also has room for two missile slots down at the bottom here. So we're gonna go ahead and refit our ships really quickly. Again, like the previous campaign, I'm restricting myself to just pirate ships. So those would be ships that are normally found in vanilla pirate factions, and then also the ones found in this mod, in Underworld. There was a suggestion to incorporate the ships that I recover from battle, so like the salvageable ships. And thematically, it kind of makes sense that a pirate would piece together a fleet using the um, conquered ships of his enemies. But at the same time, I don't want to do that necessarily, because then I feel like I would just gravitate towards going for the best ships in the game. I still have to win those fights, but once I have those ships, there wouldn't be a reason to replace that, and I feel like that's gonna get too samey to the previous Let's Play I did, Fast 5, and then the original Let's Play I did, the Zero to Hero. So for those reasons, I'm not gonna um, incorporate ships that I recover after battle. I'm still gonna sell those ship hulls, um, but it is a really good idea, and I may save that idea for later. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, we're gonna want to buy our mod specs that are on sale. Get expanded missile racks, which is nice. Makeshift shield gen, accelerated shields. And I think that's it. Let's go ahead and refit our ship. I want our ships to have, I'm just going to strip them all and then redesign them. I want our ships to have safety overrides at the beginning. I feel like speed is king in the early game. When you're doing small fights, you want to be fast and maneuverable. Long range isn't really a factor in the early game, because fights are so small. Anyway, like you don't have to worry about, flanking, doing 2-on-1, special maneuvers, suppressing a ship while another ship moves in. You don't have to worry about those tactics. It usually just comes down to who brought more missiles to the fight and which is the faster ship. So let's go ahead and do something like this. Instead of missiles, I kind of do like the needler approach. This ship has accelerated ammo feeder, by the way, for some reason, which is insane. I do kind of like the needlers, so we'll keep that. No need to put heavy mauler on here, though. Actually, you know what we can do? We can kind of just turn this into just a missile platform. And then because I have safety overrides, it can harass enemy ships. Maybe this is a bit silly. Either way, let's go ahead and give it a lot of vents. The vents being so that it can dump flux and it's not slowed down in coming out of phase space. Next up, my ship, which I'm going to pilot, because I'm really bad at piloting this ship. I played this a little off screen. I don't know how to pilot this. Let's go ahead and give ourselves harpoons to finish the enemy off. We'll take the needlers. Go for some Vulcan cannons. We need to find some assault chain guns. Hmm. Hmm. Do you need salvos? You can. We don't normally use salamanders, but I feel like being able to freeze the enemy is going to be really helpful. Hmm. Could go railguns. And then just have that. Put a Vulcan cannon at the front, Vulcan cannon on the side. I don't know if we need the flat cannon. And then I guess put a whole bunch of light machine guns on it. Like on the backside. I don't know. I'm not happy with this ship. We gotta replace these heavy mortars later on. And then let's go for Unstable injector. Yeah, sure. Normally I don't put an unstable injector on a cruiser, but this is a really slow ship. This is like Dominator speeds. We don't really care about the range. So adding unstable injector on top of safety overrides, it doesn't really make a difference. Alright. Do we have any light mortars? We do. And I think that's it. I don't really want heavy mortars. Are you gonna go thumpers? No. You see some of the problems with building a ship like this. Because the ordnance is on the backside. Like if I use heavy maulers, then I have to turn the ship. I have to turn one of my sides towards the enemy, which is just a little awkward because then I can't use my hard points. It's kind of like the apogee in that way. So it's a little tricky to design this. Hmm. You know what? Let's give you heavy maulers. And let's give ourselves those heavy mortars. I don't really like it, but at the start of the game it might get the job done. And we'll go light dual autocannon. Mm. I can't make up my mind. We'll go for Sabos instead. And we'll give you the... We'll just give you a Tropos missiles. That's fine. Alright, so these are the ships. Not really so happy with these designs, especially not this, but we'll work on it as we go through. Of course, we need to get some better weapons as we visit the different ship ports. you want me to go ahead and do a tactical bombardment? I don't know about that one, Chief. This is an agent. So we don't really need agents at the start. Agents are really good. These are some of the things they can do. Uh, we don't need any of this at the moment. So we'll go ahead and leave them. And we'll look for an officer. Depends on what you can do. You have ordnance expertise and you're timid. Ah, man. Yeah, we don't have room for a timid officer. Alright, let's go ahead and head on out to the gate. So I don't really want this to be a tutorialized series, so I'm going to skip over a lot of things. I'm also going to be playing in the background, so you won't see a lot of the in-betweens. But I do want this series just to be focused on the combat mostly. Let's head over to... let's head over to Corvus. I do want it to be focused mostly on the combat. I feel like that's the most interesting part of Star Sector. And I don't really... Oh man, I meant to check for ships. And I don't really want to bog people down. No. Can I leave? Thank you. Oh, bog people down with the inventory management. Alright. So at the excuse me. So at the very start of the game, we're gonna have to fight very, very small fleets. Even something like this poses quite a challenge. But I would love to get an early Colossus. We'll give it a try. We're gonna have to fight very, very small fleets just because, one, I don't really know how to pilot these ships yet. Yeah, I think we can do this. The largest ship is a destroyer. I think having the cruiser is going to be enough to crack through this. I just don't really know how to pilot these ships yet, and I don't really know exactly what they're capable of. We're going to have the afflictor, or the scythe, follow us. What are you two doing? Alright, so same rules still apply. You want to use your sabos to do as much damage as possible, or to overload the enemy. Okay. Alright. Okay. Oh boy. Let's go save our ship. Burn drive is really good. It's a lot faster than what's that ability called? Sorry, burst drive is better than burn drive. It makes you go a lot faster. A lot faster, as you can see. Alright. Oh. Was not being quite cautious enough. And now we're getting our face peeled off by a very angry... Actually, you can go deal with that. By a very, very angry hammerhead. Let's go ahead and back off. Oh. We're definitely going to want to avoid that enforcer. So we can bring it on a wild goose chase. And then activate our burn drive here. Let's have you go assist on that kill. Oh, nope. Actually, you know what? Let's have you go attack that. We'll cancel this order and we'll just have you escort me. I think sending the cruiser after a frigate was a mistake. Um, I think this is gonna work out a lot better. Okay. Alright. We're gonna keep applying pressure to the rear of this enforcer, and hopefully my ship can... Oh, you're disabled. Okay. And hopefully you can keep applying pressure to the front of it. Nice. Alright, let's go ahead and back off. Okay. Very difficult to control that ability. The burst drive, I mean. Ooh, okay. Alright, let's see if we can get rid of this wolf now. So because we have safety overrides, we can maintain our top speed and close the distance with this wolf for, you know, for better or for worse, of course. Whereas the wolf not having safety overrides means every time it puts its shields up, oh, it got away. It does move slower than us. Anyway, we go ahead and win that fight. It's not too bad. We'll pursue them. And we're gonna cheat here, and we're just gonna order our second in command to handle it. And we get everything except the Colossus. Nice. We will recover our Afflictor. And we can't take any of these ships. Well, we can take the Buffalo. I do make an exception for freighters. But we still can't use it. Let's dump that. We'll dump the PD laser, some of the light machine guns, and light autocannon. And let's go ahead and hunt down this Colossus, which we should be faster than. As long as we can, you know, actually get to it. Let our second in command handle this. I don't... We could have done that in combat, but I didn't feel comfortable with just how little combat readiness we had. And just like that, we get to add a Colossus to our fleet. And we'll take that singular supply for our troubles. And yeah, I'm going to end the episode here. Again, thank you so much for the support. These are going to be unedited, just kind of off the cuff. I'll be doing some behind the scenes, so that's mostly going to be activating the gates. If I do add a ship to the fleet, I'll make sure to capture that so you guys can see it. And then, depending on how large the ship is, I may also show the refit process. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy that episode. See you later. And now I want to give a massive thank you to my supporters, Brandel Porter, Zoni, Wet Noodle, and Kriltic. Thank you so much for supporting me. It means a lot that you're willing to support the channel. And if you would like to become a member of the channel, go ahead and hit the join button. Again, I will always produce content that is ad-free, but if you would like to support the channel, then joining as a member would be the most direct way to do so. Other than that, Grumpy out.